Story time with Lady Moonlight and Rocky and Rio. Hello everyone, and welcome to my first Lady Moonlights fairy stories with myself, Lady Moonlight, and I have two of my friends with me today, Rocky and Rio, who you might hear in the background. Now, I've done plenty of videos for all the mummies and daddies out there, and their aunties and their grands and everyone. So I thought I would do a video for all our younger viewers, all my younger viewers, all you children out there. And I thought I would bring a little bit of magic into your weekends with magical stories of fairies, dragons, and so much more. So join me every Saturday and Sunday for magical stories. And the good thing is you can come here anytime you like and listen to my stories. How magical is that? My name is Lady Moonlight, and I'm a good witch with lots of stories to share with you boys and girls out there everywhere. So, what's today's story? Today's story, seeing that we're coming into winter, is all about a snowman. We all build snowmen in the winter, don't we? So today's story is called Ashton and the Magick Snowman. Long ago, in a small cottage, there lived two young boys with their mum and their dad. The cottage was in the middle of a large wood. The wood had many, many, many animals there. There were deer and squirrels, owls, robins, a badger or two. In the backyard there were chickens, and they laid eggs for the families to eat. Now, in this family, the two little boys were called Ashton and Hardy. And Ashton and Hardy were like any other young boys. They loved to play and have adventures. They loved to go walking outdoors, playing in the garden, sometimes chasing the chickens, and sometimes just being mischievous young boys. It was coming into the winter season. Mum was busy in the kitchen cooking all the meals and the beautiful cakes that Ashton and Hardy liked so much. food was getting stored for the winter. So the kitchen was always full of beautiful smells of fruit, vegetables, sweets, desserts. A welcoming smell on those cold winter days. Ashton couldn't wait for the first snow. He loved snow because in the snow he could build snowmen and little igloos. And Hardy just loved making snow angels, lying down in the snow, flapping his arms, seeing how magical his snow angels looked on the ground. One morning, Ashton woke. His brother, Hardy, was fast asleep. Ashton ran to the window. The curtains that were drawn looked so brighter now. Could it be that while they were sleeping, it had snowed? Ashton drew back one of the curtains and found, wow, it had been snowing during the night. And the garden was white and glistening with all the white snow. It was like a new world. Ashton couldn't wait to go and wake Mum and Dad to tell them it had been snowing. He ran through. Mum, Mum, it's snowing, it's been snowing. We've got snow. Oh, okay dear, said Mum, and dozed dreamily off back to sleep. Oh well, said Ashton, I'll just go and wake Hardy. So he went back into the room and woke Hardy up. Hardy, it's snowing, it's been snowing. Hardy opened one eye and went, what? It's been snowing, Hardy, it's been snowing. Hardy was too tired also and fell back to sleep. Oh, well, said Ashton, I guess I'm the only one that's excited about the snow. He put on his slippers and went to look for a hat and a coat and his little gloves. He found them and put them on. Then he had second thoughts. Oh, my slippers will get wet. I'll need my boots. So he hunted for his boots and put his boots on. He looked for an old hat and an old scarf and raided the kitchen for maybe a carrot. And then he sneaked outdoors into the garden. The air was cold and the wind blew on his face. Ashton didn't mind at all. He was too excited. He was going to build a snowman, his first snowman of the year. He lay aside the hat and the old scarf and the carrot and went on the hunt for 2 small pebbles for its eyes and another larger pebble maybe for its nose. And there had been plenty of twigs blown off in the wind from the trees all around the garden. so he was sure to find twigs that would be ideal for the snowman's hands and arms. He searched the garden and found his 3 pebbles and 2 twigs that were kind of grubby and wet and cold, but they were ideal. They were rough and ragged, but they were long enough for arms. He then proceeded to gather a handful of snow in his hands and slowly rolling up the snow into a tight little ice ball. And then he started off at the edge of the garden and rolled the ball. As he rolled the ball, it got bigger and bigger. And as he kept rolling it, this large snowball was so heavy, he had to really push and push and push this ball round the garden to make it move. Finally, he managed to get it in the centre of the garden. There, that's his body, said Ashton, very proud and pleased with himself. Now, my snowman needs a head. Again, he picked up a smaller piece of snow, scrunched it into a ball, and at the beginning of the garden, again proceeded to roll his little ball. The ball got bigger and bigger, and he knew he couldn't make it too big because he had to lift this ball this time and put it on top of the snowman's body. So he rolled it until it got a reasonable size, a size that he knew he could pick up. There, said Ashton, that should fit nicely. He gently lifted the snowball and carefully placed it on top of the snowman's body, pressing it down ever so gently so as not to break either the head or the body that he had just so lovingly made. Now, for the eyes, said Ashton. Excitedly he ran to the garden bench where he had laid all his items and picked up his 3 pebbles. He placed 1 pebble on the left side of the left eye and 1 pebble on the right for the right. The pebbles seemed to glow and gleam in this cold snow. He looked at the pebble in his hand for the nose. It looks too much like an eye to me, said Ashton, and tossed the pebble aside, and went to the bench and gathered the carrot that he had borrowed from his mum's kitchen, and stuck the carrot centre of the snowman's face. There, that's better, said Ashton. Now he's got a fine nose. Oh, said Ashton. I forgot the mouth. Oh, my goodness me. How can I make the mouth? I know. There's lots of smaller pebbles in the garden if I really look. Rushing around the garden, he dug up the bits of snow to find the pebbles underneath. There was a part in the garden that he knew that Dad had a gravel section So gravel was smaller stones, perfect for a snowman's mouth. He gathered a handful of the stones and took them back to the snowman. And one by one, he placed the stones in the shape of a smiley mouth. Again, the stones seemed to glisten, and the face looked as if it was actually smiling at Ashton. But how could that be, said Ashton. It's only a snowman. It's only made out of snow. He shrugged his shoulders and carried on with his task. Now, for the hat, to keep his head warm in this cold winter's day. He placed the hat gently on the snowman's head. Was it his imagination? Did that eye just wink as he placed the hat on his head? Surely not. I must be still tired, said Ashton. I'm imagining all sorts. Okay, now I need to put a scarf around his neck to keep his neck warm. So running to the bench, he wrapped the neck with an old scarf. There, that's better. Again he looked at the snowman's face. The snowman seemed to smile, more broader now. Now for the arms, said Ashton, quite puzzled. He ran to the bench and took his twigs, and very carefully dug the twigs into the left and the right side of the snowman's body. There, that looks so much better, said Ashton. Oh, but there's still something missing. What could that be? He sat and pondered for a little while. Ah, I know. He needs buttons for his coat. Silly me. He still had some gravel, but they were too small. I'll have to look for bigger stones. 3 should do. Anyway, 3's a magic number. So off he went on the hunt round the garden again to find 3 round, shiny pebbles. And one by one he placed the pebbles. There, that ought to do it. He went and sat on the bench and admired his hard work. There, that's my snowman built. And I did it all by myself. Now, to give my snowman a name. We can't have a snowman without a name. What can I call him? I'll have to think about that. He went indoors and took all his clothes off. His jacket, his hat, his boots. Put on his slippers and went to the bedroom window to look outdoors, to admire his snowman. As he looked at the snowman, again he was sure the snowman winked his eye and smiled. As he stood at the window, Hardy, by this time he was just waking up, said, "What you looking at?" Ashton smiled. "My snowman." What snowman?" said Hardy. "The one I built this morning, while you were sleeping and Mummy and Daddy were sleeping." Hardy jumped out of bed and ran to the window where Ashton was standing and looked out. "Whoa!" said Hardy. "Let me go see." He went into the hall and grabbed his jacket, his boots as fast as he could and ran outdoors to see this wonderful snowman that his young brother Ashton had built. The snowman had no expression on his face other than the one that Ashton had actually made for him. No wink, no glittery smile, just stared. Hardy walked round and round the snowman. Wow, this was amazing. That his brother had actually made this wonderful snowman. He ran back indoors. "What you gonna call him, Ashton?" said Hardy. "I have no idea yet. I'll think about it over breakfast." As they were talking, they heard Mum and Dad. "Ah, Mum's up, Dad's up." They ran through to the lounge. "Mum, Mum." "Oh, what is it, Ashton?" "I've built a snowman. When you were sleeping, I built a snowman. A real snowman." "Really, dear?" "Yes, really. Look, come." Grabbing Mum's arm, he pulled her to the window, and she could not believe her eyes. "Wow, you built that by yourself?" said Mum. I did, truly I did." "He did," said Hardy. "And when I was sleeping too." "And I was sleeping also," said Mum. "Well, let's have our breakfast and we'll all go out and have a look at your snowman." So they all had their breakfast and then got dressed. Hats, gloves, jackets, boots, all went into the garden to admire Ashton's wonderful snowman. Mum and Dad left the boys to play in the garden, while Mum prepared the evening meal and the lunch for later on. Ashton was so happy, and so was Hardy, even though Hardy hadn't made the snowman himself. "I know," said Hardy. "Let's build an igloo. A snowman needs a house, right? What if it gets into a really bad snowstorm? We can't leave the snowman outside to get cold." "Great idea," said Ashton, and ran inside. Mum, can I borrow your basin? The square one that you don't use." "What on earth do you need a basin for?" "I need to make bricks. Can't have an igloo without bricks." Mum smiled. "Very well," she said, and reaching under the sink, she gave him the old basin that she never used anymore. With a big grin on his face, Ashton ran outside to where his brother was waiting. They used the old spades that they had over the summer and started filling the basin, squashing the snow down to make hard, solid snow bricks. And carefully they built an igloo. They started with a base of round bricks, building it higher and higher and higher, each brick sloping inwards till it reached the top. "There," said Ashton. "There," said his brother Hardy. "Now he's got a house." "So, we still haven't figured out what we're going to call our snowman," said Ashton. "Well, you made him, so what if I give him a name?" said Hardy. "That would work," said Ashton. Hardy walked over to the snowman and he looked. And he looked again at the snowman. Now, this snowman is made out of snow. But the snow glistens. Yes, it does. Well, why don't we call him Sparkle? Because he sparkles. "Sparkle the snowman," said Ashton. "I love that." "Nice to meet you, Sparkle," said Ashton, as he held one of the twigs, as if to shake the snowman's hand. "Nice to meet you, Sparkle," said Hardy, taking the other twig and shaking the hand. Mum shouted them in. "Hardy! Ashton! It's dinner time." "Oh, can't we just play 5 more minutes? Just 5 more minutes." "No, it's dinner time. Your dinner will get cold. Come on in." The boys ran in to where Mum was waiting in the kitchen with Dad, and they sat round the table talking about their igloo that they had made. "What did you call your snowman?" asked Ashton's mum. "We called him Sparkle because he sparkles with the snow." "Unusual name for a snowman," said Ashton's dad, "but I like it nevertheless." It started to snow heavily outside. The kids wanted to go out and play, but Mum said, No. It's far too wild and windy out there. You can play tomorrow. You've been playing all day in the garden. And anyway, it will soon be time for supper." They played in the house all day, and every so often, Ashton would run to the window to check on his snowman. And just before bedtime, he went to give it a final check. As he opened the curtains to look outdoors, wow! Both his eyes winked. Ashton rubbed his eyes. I'm seeing things, he said. He looked again, and again the snowman gave a wink. "Oh, I'm definitely too tired. I'm seeing things." He shouted on Hardy. Hardy! What do you want now? Said Hardy. The snowman winked at me. Yeah, okay then, the snowman winked at you, if you say so, said Hardy. Truly, truly, he did, he winked at me. Come see, come see. Hardy shrugged his shoulders and went to the window to have a look. He stared and stared at Sparkles, the snowman. No movement from his eyes or his mouth. No movement at all from his face. Said Hardy. I think you're too tired. He's not winking at all. Soon it was bedtime, and the boys were tucked up in bed. Mum told them both a story and turned off the light. But Ashton couldn't sleep. His mind was still whirring, still pondering over that snowman. He did wink, he did wink, he whispered to himself. I know he did. I saw it. He waited till Mum and Dad had went to sleep, and his brother Hardy had fallen asleep also. He sneaked out of his bedroom, once again putting on his coat and putting on his gloves and his boots, and went outdoors. There was a battery-operated lantern at the front door. He turned the lantern on. There! Now I'll be able to see where I'm going, he said. Quietly he opened the door and sneaked outdoors into the garden. There was his snowman standing, just as he had left him. Ashton walked over to the snowman and placed the lantern on the ground beside the snowman and looked up at the snowman. Again the snowman smiled, a big wide smile. Whoa! You smiled, said Ashton. The snowman gave a wink and a slight nod of his head. Whoa! No way! You moved. Of course I did, said the snowman, which totally shocked Ashton, so much so that he fell backwards, landing on his bottom. You can talk. Well, naturally. You gave me a mouth, didn't you? You winked your eyes. Well, naturally. You gave me 2 eyes. I can wink both, see? And he proceeded to wink both eyes. Whoa! But how? You're just made out of snow. Yes, I'm just made out of snow. But you made me, and you are so proud that you made me, that the woodland fairies came and sprinkled me with stardust, magical stardust. And now I'm alive, see? He wobbled his body back and forward. He waved his sticky arms. See, I can even wave. I can dance, said the snowman, as he whirled round in circles, laughing. Ashton could not believe his eyes. I have a live, living snowman. Indeed you do, he said. But I couldn't have done it without your hard work. Why didn't you wink at Hardy? Well, I'm not sure about Hardy yet. Maybe Hardy won't like me. Oh, no, Sparkles. Hardy loves you. In fact, it was Hardy that gave you your name, Sparkles. And I know Hardy would love to meet you. Well, in that case then, I'd be delighted to meet Hardy. Oh, good! Then I'll go and wake him and bring him out. Ashton was so excited. He ran indoors, almost tripping over the doorstep in the process. He ran over to Hardy's bed, shaking the covers. Hardy! Hardy! Wake up! Wake up! Oh, for goodness sake, said Hardy. What now? It's a snowman. It's a snowman. Yes, it's a snowman. Now go to sleep. But Hardy, he's alive. He's alive. Hardy opened one eye, quite sleepily, and said, What are you talking about? He's alive. I spoke with him. He can move. Come see if you don't believe me. Oh, Ashton, you've been eating too much cookies. No, honestly. Please, just this once come to the window. Let me show you, let me prove it, please. And if you don't see it, then you can go back to sleep. Okay, anything for a bit of peace. Hardy sleepily got out of his bed and went to the window and pulled the curtain open. At first the snowman just stood with his normal stare. Just as I thought, said Hardy. Nothing. Then the snowman winked. Did you see that? Did you see it? Said Ashton. I don't think so, said Hardy, trying to brush it off. The snowman raised his hand, took his hat from his head and tipped his hat, and then placed his hat back on his head. Did you see that then? Said Ashton. Oh, said Hardy. I sure did. He wants to meet you. Do you want to come? Well, now that I'm awake, why not? Hardy went and grabbed his jacket and his boots and his coat and his scarf, and the two boys ran out eagerly to meet Sparkles. Good day, young man, said Sparkles to Hardy. Whoa, he can talk, said Hardy. I told you, said Ashton. He's alive. Our snowman is alive. But how? How can that be? Said Hardy. He's made of snow. Yes, he's made of snow. But the fairies sprinkled stardust on him, and now he's alive. Show him how you can move, said Ashton to the snowman. Sparkles began to spin round, then ran round the garden. Oh, wow, said Hardy. He truly is alive. The two boys played all night in the snow with Sparkles. Sparkles told them stories of the woods and the fey folk and the fairies. They had snowball fights, although Sparkles tended to win. Well, after all, there were many fingers on his little twiggy hands that Ashton had made. The children laughed and played and had so much fun with Sparkles. "This is the best snowman ever," they said. And they were so happy that they had a new friend to play with in the winter. The moon was bright that night, so they hardly needed the lanterns. But suddenly it started to get lighter and lighter. And Sparkles said, "You'll have to go now. It's almost daylight. Thank you for keeping me company tonight. Can we come out tomorrow night as well?" "Of course you can. Be delighted to play with you tomorrow night," said Sparkles. The two boys jumped up and down in glee. They couldn't believe they had a magic snowman. They ran indoors, took off their jackets and their boots and climbed back into bed and fell asleep till full daylight. When they woke, Ashton said to Hardy, "Do we tell Mum and Dad about Sparkles?" "Well, we could," said Hardy. "I don't know if for real if they will believe us, but we could." Ashton ran to the window and opened the curtains. Yes, Sparkles was still standing there, but there was no expression on his face. He didn't wink. He didn't move. Ashton opened the window. "Sparkles! Sparkles! Should we tell Mum and Dad about you?" Again there was no movement. "He's not moving, Hardy," said Ashton. "He's not talking." Hardy said, "Maybe he doesn't come alive during the day. Maybe it's just at night." Yes, that could be it. They ran through and Mum had been busy making the breakfast. "Good morning, boys," she said. "Did you sleep well?" Ashton was so excited and said, "Yes, we did, but we kind of woke up early in the middle of the night, Mum, and we went out to check on our snowman, and the snowman was alive. He spoke to us and he played with us." Mum smiled. "What a wonderful dream, Ashton." "It wasn't a dream, Mummy. Honestly, it wasn't a dream. Hardy, tell Mum, it wasn't a dream." Hardy said, "No, we played with the snowman all night. It's a magic snowman, Mum. It came to life." "Oh," Mum sighed and went to the window. "Well, it doesn't look very much like it's alive to me," said Mum. "Maybe not now," said Ashton, "but at night it comes alive." Mum picked Ashton up in her arms and gave him a hug. "Oh, sweet boy," she said. "Snowmen are just snowmen made out of snow. And sometimes children have dreams, especially when they've worked so hard to make the snowman. Most likely you were sleeping and thought you were outside playing with him. But I did play with him, Mummy, and so did Hardy." "Yes," she said, "but Hardy was also sleeping. So you both probably dreamt about the snowman. And that's okay, dreams are magic." The children said no more on the subject. During the day they played outside. Sparkles never moved once. And then at night they would go outdoors when Mum and Dad were fast asleep. And every night Sparkles would greet them. "Good evening, boys. Nice to see you," tipping his hat. The winter days were long and the winter nights were quite short. And one night, just before the end of winter, they went out as they always did to meet Sparkles, their Magick Snowman. But Sparkles didn't smile as much. Ashton walked over to the snowman. "Sparkles, what's wrong?" "Winter's almost over," said the snowman. I know. "It will get warmer," said the snowman. I know, said Ashton. "Then I'll melt." Oh no you won't. You're magic, remember? You're alive. You won't melt. The snowman sighed. "I'm magic, but only till the winter's end. And I am made of snow, and snow melts. So yes, I will melt." "Oh no," said Hardy. "You can't melt." The snowman looked at Hardy and smiled a little smile and said, "Hardy, you know that after winter comes spring and the earth starts to warm up, and then spring turns to summer. It gets hotter still. I can't survive in the heat. My body has to melt. And then we come into autumn with the golden leaves, and the air starts to turn cool again. And then we come back to winter, and it all begins again." "Well, in that case," said Ashton, "we'll just build another snowman next year." "Yes," said Sparkles. "Good idea." "Now," said Ashton, "no more talking of melting. It's too sad. Let's play." And they played and they played all that evening, totally forgetting all about what Sparkles had told them about melting away. The children went indoors at the end of the day, and as they had many nights before, they looked out the window and they gave their snowman a little wave. And the following night, the snowman greeted them. This time he looked even sadder and said, "Tomorrow the fairies tell me it's going to rain." "Oh no," said Ashton. "You'll melt." "Indeed I will," said Sparkles. "But I wanted to say thank you to both of you. Thank you to Ashton for building me with so much love. And thank you also to Hardy for giving me my fantastical magical name. I love it. Will you come back? Please say you'll come back if we build you. I don't know, said Sparkles. Maybe, but maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see what next winter brings. In the meantime, let's enjoy our last night. The children played, and they had so much fun with Sparkles. And before they went in doors, they gave Sparkles a warm last hug. We'll miss you, said Ashton. I'll miss you too, Ashton, said Sparkles. I'll definitely miss you, said Hardy. Snowman winked his eye and said, I'll miss you too, young man. But maybe someday we'll meet again. Now go on indoors, both of you, before it gets too light. You need your sleep, you know. How can you grow big and strong if you don't get some sleep? Okay, said Ashton. We love you, Mr. Sparkles, said Ashton. The snowman smiled. I love you too, both of you. Now go, before you make me cry. Because if I cry, I surely will melt before I'm supposed to. The two boys giggled and went indoors, taking off their jackets and their boots and their scarves as they had done so many times before, and fell asleep. The next morning they were awoke to the sound of heavy rain. Oh no, 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 said Ashton. Jumped out of his bed and ran to the window. All that remained of the snowman was a wet hat, a wet scarf, twigs, pebbles, and a carrot lying on the ground. No more igloo, only green grass. He's gone, Hardy, he's gone, cried Ashton. Hardy walked over to Ashton, put an arm round him and said, I know, but he'll be back, I'm sure of it. They went in and had breakfast, and Mum said, oh, I see your snowman's melted. The winter's almost over. The air is getting warmer. I know, said Ashton. But we'll build another one next year. I have no doubt, said their mum. And then the children carried on playing. Spring came, and so did the summer and the autumn. And winter returned. And once again, Ashton went outdoors and built a snowman, just the same as he had done the year before. He used the carrot and the pebbles, the same hat, scarf. He made it identical. And then that night he went to the window. Hi, Sparkles! Hi, Sparkles! But there was no sparkle smile, no sparkle wink of the eye. He went outdoors and gave the snowman a little nudge. Hi, Sparkles! Hi, Sparkles! No movement, no smile, only the smile that Ashton had already painted on his face with the pebbles. "I guess you're not Sparkles then," he said, "but I love you all the same." And he went indoors, snuggled back into his bed and fell asleep. Every year, Ashton built a snowman in the hope that one day Sparkles would return. And maybe one day he will. Maybe this year Sparkles will come alive and play once more. But maybe not. But the two children never forgot Sparkles. He was alive in their memory. He would always be with them as long as they could remember Sparkles, their friend, the Magick Snowman. He was always with them. They had many dreams of Sparkles. So in a way, I guess Mum was right, said Ashton, looking at Hardy. He does come alive, if only in our dreams. The two boys giggled. And Hardy said, "Yep, if only in our dreams. But it won't stop us trying to build snowmen, will it?" "Oh no," said Ashton. "We'll still build our snowmen." The two boys smiled and carried on doing what two boys do. And they lived happily ever after. Do you like making snowmen? Perhaps with winter coming, you too can build a snowman. And maybe, just maybe, when you're not looking, and maybe when you least expect it, your snowman may play with you too. I hope you enjoyed your story, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for yet another wonderful story with Lady Moonlight and my beautiful birds in the corner who have also been enjoying our story today. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and I do so look forward to seeing you tomorrow for yet another story. Till then, much love and hugs from Lady Moonlight and my two boys in the corner who you can hear now, Rocky and Rio. Have a great day, kids. Till I see you tomorrow. Mwah.